Here we will discuss about ultrasonic machining. The root of ultrasonic technology can be traced back to the research on piezoelectric effect conducted by Pierre Curie around 1880. He found that asymmetrical crystals such as quartz and rosselló salt, that is of potassium sodium titrate, generate an electric charge when mechanical pressure is applied. Conversely, mechanical vibrations are obtained by applying electrical oscillation to the same crystal. Frequency value up to 1 GHz, that is 1 billion cycles per second, have been used in the ultrasonic industries. Today's ultrasonic applications include medical imaging, that is scanning the unborn fetus and testing for cracks in airplane construction. Ultrasonic wave. The ultrasonic waves are sound waves of frequency higher than 20,000 Hz, means that is above the range which we can hear. Ultrasonic waves can be generated using mechanical, electromagnetic and thermal energy sources. They can be produced in gases including air, liquids and solids. Magnetostrictive transducer use the inverse magnetostrictive effect to convert magnetic energy into ultrasonic energy. This is accomplished by applying a strong alternating magnetic field to certain metals, alloys and ferrites. Piezoelectric transducer employ the inverse piezoelectric effect using natural and synthetic single crystals such as quartz or ceramics such as barium titanate, which have strong piezoelectric behavior. Ceramics have the advantage over crystal in that they are easier to shape by casting, pressing and extruding. This is a setup of ultrasonic machining. Here we can see the workpiece, then abrasive slurry, nozzle, tool, transducer and high frequency source. The principle of machining. In the process of ultrasonic machining, metal is removed by microchipping or erosion with abrasive particles. In USM process, the tool made up of softer material than that of workpiece is oscillated by the booster and sonotrode at a frequency of about 20 kHz with an amplitude of about 25.4 micrometer, that is 0.001 inch. The tool forces the abrasive grids in the gap between the tool and the workpiece to impact normally and successively on the work surface, thereby machining the work surface. During one strike, the tool moves down from its most upper remote position with a starting speed at 0. Then it speeds up to finally reach the maximum speed at the mean position. Then the tool slows down its speed and eventually reaches 0 again at the lowest position. When the grid size is close to the mean position, the tool hits the grid with its full speed. The smaller the grid size, the lesser the momentum it receives from the tool. Therefore, there is an effective speed zone for the tool and correspondingly there is an effective size range for the grids. In the machining process, the tool at some point impacts on the largest grids, which are forces into the tool and workpiece. In this diagram, we can see the illustration of the ultrasonic machining process by which material is removed by microchipping and erosion. Then in second picture we can see second and third picture the typical examples of hole produced by ultrasonic machining. The dimension of cuts and the types of workpiece material is different here. And next, as the tool continues to move downward, the force acting on the grids increases rapidly. Therefore, some of the grids may be fractured. As the tool moves further down, more grids with smaller sizes come in contact with the tool. The force acting on each grid becomes less. Eventually, the tool comes to the end of its strike. The number of grids under impact force from both the tool and the workpiece become maximum. Grit with size larger than the minimum gap will penetrate into the tool and work surface to different extent according to their diameters and the hardness of both surface. This is a picture of the ultrasonic machining process. Here we can see the tool change, quick change tool holder, then workpiece holder and workpiece. We can see the sonotrodes and booster. In between that, by a nozzle we are providing the abrasive slurry. Next one is electromechanical machining. A popular application of electrolysis is the electroplating process, in which metal coatings are deposited upon the surface of a cathodically polarized metal. ECM or electrochemical machining is similar to electropolishing in that it is also an anodic dissolution process, but the rate of metal removal offered by the polishing process are considerably less than those needed in metal machining practice. The concept of electromechanical process. Metal removal is achieved by electrochemical dissolution of an anodically polarized workpiece, which is one part of an electrolyte cell in ECM. When an electric current is passed between two conductors dipped into a liquid solution named as electrolysis. Electrolytes are different from metallic conductors of electricity in the current is carried not by electron but by the atoms or group of atoms, which have either lost or gained electrons, thus acquiring either positive or negative charges. Such atoms are called ions. This is electrolytic dissolution of iron. Here we can see two electrodes are there. One is cathode and another one is anode. Those are dipped into a electrolyte solution, and here the current is passing here, and the electrolysis process will be carried out. The iron and anode, and this is your evolution of hydrogen at cathode. Here you can see hydrogen is evolving there, and here you can see the ions. And this electrolysis that is carried out here, that is electrolyte used here is NaCl solution. Ions which carries positive charges move through the electrolyte in the direction of the positive current, that is towards the cathode, and are called cations. The negatively charged ion travels toward the anode and are called anions. The movement of the ions is accompanied by the flow of electrons in the opposite sense to the positive current in the electrolyte. Both reactions are a consequence of the applied potential difference, that is voltage from the electric source. This is the working principle. Here we can see it. This is the initial gap between the anode and cathode, and finally we can see the gap between the cathode and anode. The workpiece and tool are the anode and cathode respectively of an electrolyte cell, and a constant potential difference usually at about 10 volt is applied across them. A suitable electrolyte, for example aqueous sodium chloride, that is stable salt solution, is chosen so that the cathode shape remains unchanged during the electrolysis. The electrolyte is also pumped at a rate that is 3 to 30 meter per second through the gap between the electrodes to remove the product of machining and to diminish unwanted effects, such as those that arise with cathodic gas generation and electrical heating. The rate at which metal is then removed from the anode is approximately in inverse proportion to the distance between the electrodes. A machining proceeds and with the simultaneous movement of the cathode at a typical rate, for example 0.02 mm per second towards the anode. The gap along the electrode length will gradually tend to a steady state value. Under this condition, a shape roughly complementarily to that of the cathode will be reproduced on the anode. is the schematic diagram of electrolysis process. Here we can see the metal removal by electrolysis process. The component of ECM or electrochemical machinery. The power needed to operate the ECM is obviously electrical. There are many specifications to this power. The current density must be high. The gap between the tool and workpiece must be low for higher accuracy. Thus, the voltage must be low to avoid a short circuit. The control system uses some of this electrical power. Next one is electrolyte circulation system. The electrolyte must be injected in the gap at high speed, that is between 1500 to 3000 meter per minute. The inlet pressure must be between 0.15 to 3 megapascal. The electrolyte system must include a fairly strong pump. System also includes a filter, sludge removal system and treatment units. The electrolyte is stored in a tank. Next one is control system. The control parameters include voltage, inlet and outlet pressure of electrolyte, temperature of electrolyte. The current is dependent on the above parameters and the feed rate. The advantages of ECM. There is no cutting forces, therefore clamping is not required except for controlled motion of the workpiece. There is no heat affected zone. Very accurate, relatively fast, can machine harder metals than the tool, faster than ADM, then no tool wear at all, no heat affected zone, better surface finish and accuracy.